Hello, YouTube viewers, and welcome back to not only Go Figure Customs YouTube channel, but to another episode of General Geekery. With me, as always, is JD.
Hello. It's been a while. How's everybody out there?
Yeah, it has been a while. I don't think we've recorded a episode since like my second quarantine. I don't think we did one that would have been like October.
Yeah, the trivia episode is the last time you were home, we were gonna do a podcast, and then for whatever reason our schedules didn't line up or something. And well, of course, was that right after Christmas?
No, that was before Christmas.
Or
I
yeah,
was home for Christmas.
Yeah, that's right. So it was just a busy time of the year. So yeah, so we are back for as long as Brian is back.
Yeah. Well, it'll be 4 weeks, and I got 2 weeks in quarantine, so I can always do a few episodes while I'm in quarantine too.
Yeah, because I know you're looking forward to that. Plus, football season's over, so you won't even have that to look forward to in quarantine.
I know. That's because I was watching football with my mom on Zoom and FaceTime and Skype and all that stuff every weekend, so that was always kind of fun. But let's see. We, of course, didn't have any plans for the show.
Hey, we discussed topics.
We just didn't have a plan for it.
Right.
So I think one of the first things that I was going to mention is that I recently went over 1,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel.
Dude, that's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. It blows me away. I mean, I expected like 5 or 6, not 5 or 600, like 5 or 6.
Yeah. Yeah, like single digits, 5 or 6, half a dozen.
Yes.
I think I was like the 4th subscriber. So.
Yeah, no, it blew me away when I started getting subscribers. I'm like, wow, somebody subscribed to this channel. Just like, I didn't think that was going to happen. And then next thing I know,
we got 1,000, dude.
Yeah.
Thousands. That's awesome. It
just blew me away. So yeah, because it started out as me teaching people how to make custom card backs, which you can see in the background there on the wall. Those are my custom G.I. Joe card backs for my
people. He's got some other card backs he made on the other wall that's parallel to him. At some point when he does his many episode video tour of his nerd heaven or man cave or whatever the hell we're calling it, his Iron Horror collection in the other room. Yeah, he'll probably give you a good look at those, but it's going to take 16 episodes to look through everything that he's got. It's impressive and disturbing at the same time.
And JD has seen it firsthand. So
yes, having sat in as with the entourage of toys surrounding me, it's more impressive and also somehow oppressive to sit near all of that plastic glory. It's very strange and surreal. So,
but it's cathartic at the same time, because you're like, you can just look around and just like everywhere you look, there's something cool to look at.
Yes, as opposed to me, where there's a bookshelf back there and some plain walls, and over there's a picture of the Millennium Falcon that you can't actually see because I had to move it to a different wall. So, yeah. Oh. I mean, I do have my Eagle Fang Karate from Cobra Kai shirt on, but yeah, I don't have the cool geeky environment to podcast in that Brian does. So
maybe someday, I think.
Yeah, someday.
So yeah, it started off doing custom card backs as a tutorial. Then I started doing like tips and tricks for customizing. And then I thought, why not some unboxing reviews of action figures? So I started doing that, and then really started doing like the Joy Toy figures, because not a lot of people are getting those, and they're just fantastic figures. And then my numbers really just started jumping.
I too wish that they would sponsor you. I don't know if they do sponsorship of podcasters or video reviewers, but if they do not, they should. And if they do, well, they really need to sponsor you because you're going to keep buying them, clearly.
Yes.
And
so is everybody else, because I've got a bunch of comments saying that they've bought stuff because of my reviews.
Well, there you go. There you go. It's like peer pressure, except that there's no actual pressure. So,
exactly. I'd say that's a pretty good way of describing it.
But you are influencing, what is it? Making friends and influencing people?
Yeah. Sending them money is what I'm doing. Lining their pockets.
Yes.
So then after that really took off, then JD and I had been talking about, after watching a couple of other video podcasters, we talked about doing video podcasting. And so here we are with General Geekery. And then JD requested that my wife make some videos for his son, Blake, on how to solve the 3x3, the traditional Rubik Cube.
Yeah, he's fascinated by it, but he's 8. He can't solve it. Not that I'm saying his age is a limit, because there are little kids that can do them, but he doesn't, it's a problem-solving puzzle, and he tends to get frustrated with problem-solving things. I can't imagine where he got that from.
I can't
in his
even
genes.
begin to fathom.
But I don't. The Rubik's Cube now, they're printed with the color blocks on them. Unlike when we were kids, where you could peel the stickers off and switch them around. So if you couldn't solve it, you could pretend you solved it. You can't do that anymore. And I can't solve a Rubik's Cube to save my life.
I can't either. And I never took the stickers off mine. I figured out how to take it apart and reassemble it. So that's how I solved it.
There we go. I only did the sticker thing once. Unfortunately, they didn't always go back on.
Right.
So like one side of my Rubik's Cube was mangled, and I didn't bother to do the other one. So honestly, I've never solved one. I've never even, until I went to Brian's house and I saw this crazy collection of puzzle cubes and puzzles of many different shapes.
Yeah.
That all have moving blocks to match up. I never held a completed Rubik's Cube in my hand, and then I saw the ones that his wife has done, and I'm like, wow, this is impressive. So she's making some instructional videos to help my son out, so that he can solve his own Rubik's Cube that he argued with me about in the store. He wanted one day, because I told him I can't help you solve it if you get it. And then I went to Brian's house back in September, and I discovered that, his wife has this puzzle cube hobby that I hadn't realized. And so she made one video, but she's making some more, because it took him a few months to get around to it. And now he's got it, and now he's kind of mad at it because he can't. So, but who knew that it would spawn a whole idea for a segment on your YouTube channel?
Well, and that was, there's a couple reasons for that. Number one is, not only she's doing it for Blake, but she's doing it kind of as she's very meticulous, let's put it that way. So she has like a solve diary. So she writes down her notations and her algorithms on each different cube. So hang
on. Your diary idea, it's apropos, but let me convey how epic this diary is. You remember, and this is for all the viewers, if you've seen Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade,
you're gonna say
the Grail diary that Indiana Jones' father kept with all the notes on their travels and all their little conspiracies, all of that, this giant volume of research that they done into the Holy Grail. That is what Emily's puzzle cube journal looks like. There's sketches and there's tips and tricks, and
it's impressive, because I mean she's probably got, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 different types of cubes.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there were that many different types of cubes, but yeah, no, it's insane, the different amount of cubes. So she's going to do it as like a video diary on how to solve stuff, but she also uses YouTube to help her solve the cubes when she gets them. But she's noticed that there is a distinct lack of female people solving cubes on YouTube. So yeah,
there you go.
So there's all right. She has not been able to find any, but there's no girls solving cubes on YouTube. So she is going to start to fill that role. And I think,
well, that's excellent.
Yeah, I think that she has the potential to actually get more viewers than I do when she really gets, if she sticks with it and gets this rolling and gets different cube solves up. I think she has the potential to like easily double our the numbers of subscribers to this channel.
Oh, cool. That might get us 2 or 3 other listeners to this podcast.
Right.
In accidentally, sure, because they'll click the wrong link or something. But hey, we're not going to argue.
Right. So on top of all that, there's a contest. So she has no idea what to call the little segment that she's for the cube solving. And I suggested, because I'm going to make her a logo for the thumbnail. So it's just not pictures of her hands holding a cube every time. So I'm going to make a logo for her. And right now, tentatively, we're going to call it Emily's Cubing Corner. She likes the name, but she's not in love with it. So she is.
Hey, Emily was just in the background. Hi, Emily.
Hello.
Hi.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, might as well make a appearance. We're talking about your puzzle solving video segment on his channel. So
yeah.
So the contest is that if you can come up with a better name than we can.
So I will be doing a cube giveaway of some sort of interesting, probably a 3x3 based cube. So it's not like super ridiculously complicated. But anyone who can come up with a better name for my little segment that I end up using, I will send you a cube. There you go.
Yep. So all you got to do is comment on one of Emily's videos and with a name for a suggestion for a name. And if Emily ends up liking that and using that, we'll get in touch with you, and you send us an address and we send you a cube.
Yeah. And I'll try to, hopefully something interesting. If it's somebody who has cubes, I'll try to make it something that maybe, you can't get at Walmart or Target, at a regular store. Like I'll try to make it something interesting. But I just finished the last segment.
All right, send it to me and I'll.
Well, when you're done.
Yeah, send it to me and I'll upload it.
All right, cool.
All righty. So there you go. Yeah. That's where we're at with the YouTube channels.
That's awesome. I'm glad that you're doing this, Emily. That's really cool.
Well, we'll see. First of all, when Blake gets it solved, send me a picture or something, because that's the original goal. Also, sorry in advance if you end up buying more cubes, because he might want more once he gets started.
That's okay. I'll just end up ordering them from that cubicle site that I ordered your the ones that I sent you for Christmas.
Yes.
I have to laugh. It's one of those websites you make one order for them and they spam the shit out of your inbox forever.
Yeah, you get emails forever. Sorry about that.
Well, that's okay, because somebody said, well, just unsubscribe or move them to junk. Well, I'm not going to unsubscribe because at some point I'll need, but I have moved them so that they go into and I check every once in a while just to, most of those marketing things like BBTS, whenever they send, oh my God, I'm sick of getting those. So they all get moved and I just check every once in a while. And I've done that, except that they still come into my inbox and then I get a duplicate in the filter. So I'm like, well, all right, well, whatever.
Didn't really work. You can end up with discount codes. So if you intend to order, if you ever order again, look through your past emails and see if you get, it's usually not, gigantic, but I'll take 7% off. That's fine. So kind of worth something.
Hey, save money is save money.
Yeah.
Right?
Because the D&D website, D&D Beyond, that they send duplicate emails to my regular inbox, because they too, now I get 2 copies in my regular inbox and 2 copies in my filter in my marketing. I'm like, really? Thanks, D&D Beyond. I love your site, but holy shit,
What?
I don't need 4 copies of the same email.
Oh my god!
Right?
Yeah, no, I get 2 copies of the company, the coffee company that I buy my coffee from.
The Bones Coffee.
Yeah.
I'm amused because I don't drink that stuff, but you talking about it on your Facebook page, now I get all kinds of ads for Bones Coffee, and I'm like, wow, that's funny. Curious enough that I've actually wanted to try it, but
it's good stuff. I love it. And so they've got like weird flavors, but it's most of the time it just tastes like coffee. So it smells really good though.
I'm guessing it's better than the coffee you'd get at, say, I don't know, your job site.
Yeah, because that's because I bring my own coffee with me wherever I travel. So yes. Because a lot of places that I've been, it's just like Folgers instant flakes. I'm like, I don't drink that. I'm sorry. I'm not a coffee snob, but I refuse to drink instant coffee.
I could see that.
Man's got to have some self-respect.
Tanya, my girlfriend, she was a nurse, and she said mostly what she drank was at the hospital. You get the old coffee that's still in the pot, just for the pick-me-up on it. She too, she got me drinking coffee, and I drank some coffee while I was at Brian's house. I'm still more into the pop or the soda, as some of you people call it.
Yeah, it's
pop. But anyways, at some point, I'll become more of a coffee drinker when I have a better coffee machine, probably. But yeah, so.
All right, there you go. So that was the dogs barking. So that was all the stuff for the YouTube channels. Thanks for going over 1,000 subscribers. My dogs are going crazy, so somebody must be out front.
Mortal enemy of the mailman, probably.
Yeah. And Emily's got her puzzle cube solving corner up, and the first few videos for that are up on the YouTube channel. So if anybody's interested in that, those videos are up. It's not the full solve for the 3x3, but it's like the first 5 or 6 parts. So that's good to go. Let's see, what else were we going to talk about?
Well, today Disney Plus, they made a Facebook post about the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series is now in production. Technically, it's been in production for like 2 months, but whatever. Disney Plus made a post, but this is the first announcement of the whole cast. And I will just look that up. Let's see. Starring Ewan McGregor, of course, he's back as Obi-Wan.
I think that's awesome.
Hayden Christensen is back to play Darth Vader.
Nice.
Joel Edgerton and Bonnie Pice are back to play Owen and Beru Lars. The rest of the cast looks like new, never did Star Wars before cast members. Most of whom I've never heard of. Moses Ingram, I don't know who she is. Let's see. Indira Varma, Rupert Friend, Benny Safdie, Simone Kessel Run. Boy, I hope there's a joke in there somewhere. Let's see. Sung Kang. None of whom I've ever heard of, but hey, I always like to see new blood in Star Wars. And O'Shea Jackson Jr., who is the son of rapper Ice Cube, and an actor who's catching on a lot. He's in another Disney-owned property. He's in a Marvel movie called The Eternals this year. Kumail Nanjiani. So this is the first time they have published the entire cast list. So I'm very curious to see what parts these people are going to play. And I have nothing but faith that this show is going to kick a lot of ass, because
do they have
the director for the show is Deborah Chow, who directed a few episodes in the first season of The Mandalorian. So I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with this Obi-Wan series.
They have a tentative date, release date.
Early next year, I believe.
All right.
Um,
So
so
yeah, speaking of Disney Plus, I think they also recently announced that they are going to be for an extra cost, they're going to be streaming the Black Widow movie when it releases simultaneously with the theater. And I believe that cost is going to be about, it's going to be released in July now, I think, because they pushed it back again. A year and a half past release date. And I think the price is going to, I think Emily said it was going to be like $30.
Yeah, that's what Mulan was, and that's what Raya and the Last Dragon was. Black Widow will be the same. Tanya and I, we were going to watch, well, she's long distance. She lives in Texas. I live in New York. So on our date nights when we watch movies, we watch them with the screen share over Zoom. And we were going to watch Raya and the Last Dragon. What ended up instead happening when I went to Texas 2 weeks ago to visit, they still have movie theaters there that, open and play movies.
Yeah.
And they have an Alamo Drafthouse there.
Oh,
and at the Alamo Drafthouse, they were playing Raya and the Last Dragon. So we took Tanya's son and we went to go see it there. Last time I was in Texas before that, I was there for New Year's. And on New Year's Day, we had gone to the Alamo Drafthouse to see Wonder Woman, 1984.
That was easily one of the top 5 worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
I liked it, but
I thought it
anyways,
was absolute garbage.
Well, I was excited to finally get to an Alamo Drafthouse.
Well, yeah, okay, that was awesome. Emily and I went to go see Conan the Barbarian, the original Arnold Schwarzenegger movie at Alamo Drafthouse. It was fantastic.
Well, for years I'd heard great things about the Alamo Drafthouse. Never ever imagining that I'd be in a place where I would have access to one. But it's a big bonus now because in New York State, there are some movie theaters that are operating, I believe, but we had Regal Cinemas here. Regal Cinemas went belly up because of the pandemic. So even if the theaters were going to open back up, in fact, I believe they have because there's an AMC theater a few towns over, and I believe it's open, but we can't, we don't have a movie theater here anymore because it was a Regal and they're gone. So, but so it's nice to be able to go to a movie theater, honestly. But yeah, we took her 5-year-old to go see Raya and the Last Dragon, and it was good. It was good enough that I would have paid for, because we ended up paying the same for admission that we would have paid on Disney Plus, but it was nice to watch a movie that wasn't over Zoom. But we probably will end up paying to watch it over Disney Plus to watch Black Widow.
I don't think we've decided what we're gonna do yet.
Well, Tanya and I, we went through before my last visit, or before my New Year's visit, we had gone through and we watched all the MCU movies, some of whom she'd seen, some of which she hadn't seen, but she wanted to watch them with me because, well, I'm a bit of an enthusiastic Marvel Cinematic Universe fan.
No.
So we watched all the movies. And so she really liked the Black Widow character, so we'll probably end up watching that over Disney Plus. But watching those movies with her kind of gave me kind of a new, sometimes when you watch movies with people that are really into something, it'll make you sometimes take a second look at something and give it another chance. Yeah. Well, that's what happened with a few characters that honestly I was neutral on from the MCU movies, like Wanda Maximoff in The Vision. Honestly, I think the biggest thing the Vision had going for me was that Paul Bettany played him after providing the voice of Jarvis, the AI for years, and Tony Suits. But honestly, the movies didn't do much to make me care particularly a lot about those characters. Like numerous characters from the MCU, then just sort of neutral on. Well, when it was announced that WandaVision would be coming to Disney Plus, my initial reaction was just kind of, Oh, well, there's an MCU thing I could probably skip because who cares? Because the characters in the movies, eh. Well, Eating Crow, gaining new appreciation for those characters after rewatching the movies that they were in with Tanya. I started to get a little bit revved up for the show. And then as we got closer and we'd see the previews and we'd see like, it was like a live stream thing that they had done that introduced some of the cast. And then I found out that some of the characters from other MCU movies would be back in the show. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I thought that was really awesome that they're bringing MCU characters, other MCU characters into the shows. I love the integration. I mean, that is Marvel in a T, you know, as far as like crossovers from the comic books when I was a kid. I love the fact that they're doing that.
It definitely solidifies it as being a unified vision for the stories they're trying to tell. Characters from the big screen cross over onto the little screen, and it definitely feels like a cohesive world. In fact, WandaVision even introduced concepts like the blip, which was what happened when those people disappeared after Thanos snapped. Previously in the movies, the only thing we'd heard about the blip was in Spider-Man Far From Home, and then we saw it on WandaVision, and now Falcon and the Winter Soldier has also referenced it. So yeah. I do like seeing this synergy between the screen appearances. But WandaVision, we started watching it with the first episode, and man, that show got me right away. And as it built, it just got better. And every week, we just looked more forward to it. And when the show ended, when the last episode were on, we were disappointed. We're kind of hoping that they'll do a second season after the Doctor Strange movie. I don't know if there's going to be an opportunity to.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think just based off of what they did, I think they told the story.
I think they did too. But it's just more a matter of, I wouldn't mind. I mean, obviously, we don't know what part Wanda Maximoff is going to play in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. We don't have any idea what the narrative's going to be. Right. Maybe there would be no reason to have a TV series, but what they did with that television series in 9 episodes was phenomenal. They did a really, really good job making this show and making a super compelling narrative. And it's like...
Well, one of the things that I was going to say is I think they did what Netflix couldn't do in 13 episodes, which is
you got that
cut
right.
Some of the fat out, and some of the stuff that just dragged on did not need to be in there, and made every episode good and made every episode count.
And it makes you really look forward to the next episode. You know what I think actually helps a lot too? Is I think having the show on week to week and not dropping all the episodes at once, I think that does kind of help with, you anticipate what's going to happen next.
Right.
And yeah, it's tough to wait in between episodes, but it is nice to see. But I don't think, but you're right. The previous Marvel Netflix series is Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Punisher. I watched the first 2 seasons of Daredevil. I watched the first season of Iron Fist. I watched the first season of Jessica Jones and the first season of Luke Cage. And I skipped the Punisher altogether. Those seasons of those shows led into the Defenders series, which was not great. And those shows all had one big problem. The individual characters get 13 episode seasons, and only maybe 7 of those episodes were ever really truly necessary.
Yeah.
The shows tend to meander a lot and didn't necessarily make you want to binge watch the show. And then the Defenders came along where they brought all those characters together, and it was only 8 episodes, and that could have been 6 episodes. somehow they still ended up with a bunch of filler.
Yeah.
And then by the time most of those series came around to their second seasons, and in Daredevil's case, the third season, I watched the second season of Luke Cage, but it wasn't all that interesting. I mean, it was interesting, but not great. I started the second season of Jessica Jones, gave up. Started the second season of Iron Fist, gave up even faster. And honestly, I just sort of forgot about the third season of Daredevil. And then, like I said, I tried
to watch the third season. Let's see. I've seen the first two seasons of Daredevil. Tried to watch the third season of Daredevil. Couldn't get into it. First season of Jessica Jones, I liked it. Never bothered with the second season. Never bothered with Luke Cage at all. I'm not a big Luke Cage fan to begin with.
I like the actor. I mean, the character's great. I like Luke Cage, but the actor's great. He's compelling.
I just never was vested in that character ever, ever, ever.
I didn't hate the first season of Iron Fist like most people did, but I will not pretend the kid playing Iron Fist.
The Iron Fist, and then of course I watched Punisher, and
I just skipped it altogether.
Highly disappointed as a huge Punisher fan.
See, I would have skipped it anyways because Punisher is fine. Jon Bernthal in the part is fine, but it didn't do enough for me on Daredevil when he was on there for me to really worry about the show. And then when you came along and you said that it was actually disappointing, I'm like, well, that reinforces why.
Yeah, and see, I thought the best part of the Punisher was in season 2 of Daredevil. So if you watch season 2 of Daredevil, you got the best part of the Netflix Punisher. So,
yeah, I think the kid that played Iron Fist was pretty bad in a series. It was really weird, and it all just kind of makes you wish that they could go back and salvage those now and make more concise series after the fact. They won't, obviously, but what they're doing on Disney Plus feels like this is the way to handle Marvel TV series. And I really hope that they can continue this momentum in the future with those series.
I think they will, because I mean, when the Falcon and Winter Soldier is done, we've got the Loki series coming up after that.
Yep, and then after Loki is what, Hawkeye?
I think so. I know that they've announced another one. I don't remember what it is.
Back in December, they announced a shitload of new content coming to Disney Plus for Star Wars, Marvel, and all kinds of other properties too while I'm at it. But I mostly concentrate on Marvel and Star Wars. And because with that, they announced a Secret Invasion series, which is going to star Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. There was an Armor War series starring War Machine, aka Rhodes, which of course I'm all about because he's my favorite character from the Iron Man movies. He was my favorite character from the Iron Man universe long before I was ever a Tony Stark fan. I was a War Machine fan. It's Rob Liefeld's fault because Rob Liefeld put War Machine in an early issue of X-Force, which automatically got me hooked anyways. But and then there's an animated series I think called I Am Groot coming out. Or I think they're going to be animated shorts. But and then there's, I believe, Ant-Man and the Wasp is getting. Well, there's something called Quantum Mania, but I don't know if it's a Disney Plus series or if it's a movie. I'm not really sure. But yeah, there's a lot of Marvel content coming outside of the movies, and holy shit, I'm excited.
I can't wait.
What do you think of Winter Soldier or the Falcon and Winter Soldier so far? We're only 2 episodes in, but you're caught up on it.
I am. We watched it last night. I think it's great. I love it so far.
I love it. I feel like there's something missing from the show that I can't put my finger on. We'll get there.
I think it will come though.
I think it will too. I have nothing but faith that whatever I feel like is that missing piece, it's going to get addressed. I'm not particularly concerned with it. I think it's just part of it might be one of the pitfalls of the week to week viewing. It's just kind of, I feel like something's, because I feel like there's just something they're holding for future episodes, and I wish those blanks could be filled in right now. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong. I am not complaining about it in any way. I have been looking forward to Falcon and the Winter Soldier since it was announced.
Same here.
Before Disney Plus even existed as a channel, when it was announced as one of the early TV series they were going to be doing. It was supposed to be the first MCU show. I believe it was supposed to come out last August, but well, the pandemic changed everything for all movie studios and entertainment in general. So it wound up getting delayed because they couldn't do reshoots on it, because everything shut down, production on everything shut down. That's why WandaVision ended up coming out in January, because it was supposed to be the second Marvel series.
Right, forgot about
but
that.
It was ready first. So, which again, I'm not going to complain, because if you're going to kick off a set of TV series starring these characters on Disney Plus, well, shit, WandaVision was a good way to start with that. I actually have a sweatshirt with the WandaVision logo on it.
I like that sweatshirt.
I love it. Tanya got it for me for my birthday, because we were both huge fans of that TV series. I liked seeing Monica Rambeau as an adult, from the Captain Marvel movie. I happen to be a huge fan of the Captain Marvel movie. I liked seeing those characters updated for the present day, because that movie took place in the 90s. I like seeing the return of Jimmy Woo, who was funny in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yes.
But honestly, I figured he was a one and done character. I'm glad that they managed to work him into this series.
Yes.
I'm looking forward now to seeing
Darcy again.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Darcy Lewis from the Thor movies. I was glad when she came into this that she wasn't just the goofy comic
relief.
Yeah, and the scientist intern who was the only person who applied for the intern position. I'm glad that they dropped that part of it, and they said she's an actual astrophysicist. Like, she actually got training. Like, all that time she spent with Jane Foster and learning about Asgard actually paid off, and she became, well, an actual character with substance. That was good. And I really liked everything that they did with that show. It was a little bit sitcom, a little bit sci-fi series, a little bit X-Files, a little bit, and it's like they checked all kinds of different boxes with this one series. And shit, I really, really liked it. And I'm glad that S.W.O.R.D. was established. It was hinted at with the end credit scene from Spider-Man Far From Home. But I'm glad to see that logo and everything, it's an organization, and it was established here. And that was really fucking great. And I like the mystery aspect of it, the way it sort of all started out. This is weird. This is interesting. I can't wait to explain it. And I was not at all disappointed with the show.
No.
I know some people sort of thought the finale fell flat, but I don't know what show they were watching, because I was eminently satisfied with it.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it either. I'm curious to see where they'll go with Vision.
Me too, because that other Vision, he's out there somewhere. So I never counted on them bringing Vision back, because he was one of the characters to die before the snap that Thanos made, because they had said most of those characters would be back except for the people that died ahead of time. The speculation was that those characters were dead. And this is a different Vision. It's not the same Vision.
Right.
It's a different Vision. Yeah, he's had his memories filled in by the original Vision inside this world that they called the Hex. But for all intents and purposes, he's still a separate character. He's a different character.
And I think that's I'm not positive, but I think that's happened a few times to Vision.
I believe it has. You're right. In the comic books, you mean? Yeah, I believe so. He's been reprogrammed. He's been, Vision is a character that honestly from the comic books never did much for me. I always thought he was pretty goofy. There was a video game about the Avengers back in the 90s where Vision was one of the playable characters. And honestly, I just thought he was goofy looking. The comics I'd read with him, honestly, So it hooked me initially when Paul Bettany was going to play the character. But even then, I was like, after watching Civil War, Age of Ultron, where he first came on, then Civil War, and then the Infinity Saga movies, I wanted to like him more than I did. Well, holy shit, I'm all in on him now.
Right.
And I was really shocked and awed on this show when they brought the all-white Vision, which is what he looked like in the comic books for the longest time. I was glad that they brought that into the show.
Yeah.
And I understand why they didn't do it on the big screen, why they used the more colorful red, green, and gold version on the big screen. But man, I'm glad that they did it the way they did it on this show. I was pretty happy with it.
Yeah, no, I thought they did a really good job with that. Let's see. That brings us up to date on Disney Plus. What else were we going to talk about?
Well, I just want to mention that when we started this video segment, this video version of the podcast for General Geekery, it was at the beginning of quarantine last year. Everything was shutting down. Everybody was working from home. Brian got stuck in the U.S. for, longer than you'd been in the U.S. for a huge chunk of time before.
Yeah, I was home for 3 months. I haven't been home for 3 months in a row for years.
And that we started this show because, we were going to be home anyways. And I wasn't feeling particularly happy about anything. I was a hollow shell of a person. I'm not even gonna pull any punches on that.
No.
So we kind of started this video segment as something this way. We wanted to provide the podcast anyways. Well, Brian said we should do this video. Okay, cool. I can't believe it's been a year since we've been doing this on video.
I can't either.
I can't believe it's been a year since this pandemic was first declared, and I'm still working from home and will be for a while. I am vaccinated. Last week I got my second vaccine shot.
I got my first one while I was in country, and I was impressed that they my host country gave it to me since I'm not a resident of that country. But
that is cool.
Frontline healthcare worker, I was able to get one.
You're getting the second shot when you go back?
Yeah, I got the AstraZeneca one, and it's apparently the recommendation is 4 to 12 weeks between the shots. So they're doing 12 weeks to be safe. So it lines up perfectly with me being in country.
I didn't realize that AstraZeneca had a version of the vaccine.
Oh yeah, that's one of the first ones that came out. It just wasn't one of the first ones. It hasn't been approved for the United States yet.
Okay, because here in the U.S., we've got Pfizer, we've got Moderna. I got the Pfizer vaccine. I went through the VA hospital. In fact, realize I still have my veteran sticker from the hospital visit I had to do before this. I had to go get a CPAP machine because I didn't.
We got the Johnson & Johnson one too.
But that was just approved. Like that one's new. New.
About a month ago.
My girlfriend Tanya, she got the Moderna vaccine. I got Pfizer. So you got AstraZeneca. So that was. How'd you feel afterwards? Okay.
Like a rough patch of road for about a day or two, but it was kind of. I stopped. I have to get vaccinated for typhoid every once in a while, and I stopped doing the typhoid shots because the U.S. military says the shot isn't effective anymore. So now it's a 5-day course of oral meds, and that was rough. That was rough. So it was kind of comparable to if anybody's ever done oral typhoid vaccination. It was similar to that.
Well, I don't know what that's like. That sounds like it sucks. But I'm glad that I'm vaccinated, but I'm just as glad that because it's going to take a while before everybody gets the vaccine. Kids aren't going to be approved for a while for it. Yeah. So my children won't be able to be vaccinated for a while. But yeah, I'm still working from home, and holy shit, I'm so happy about that. If I never go to the office again, I'll be just fine.
Yeah, I think I'd be okay if I could do my job from home. It'd be like, yeah, call me up on Skype. Hey, I'm bleeding. Yeah, put some pressure on that.
Yeah, get a Band-Aid. Just see what it does in a couple days. I remember when you were working at the clinic in Afghanistan, sometimes you'd tell me about some of the patients that would come into your clinic, and it was always good for a laugh. It was always funny because you always had people coming in asking some of the dumbest questions ever. Yeah. But you never knew what was going to walk into your clinic.
No.
Sometimes you'd get people in that, like, they were in serious shape, and some of those people were just coming in. Really, you couldn't even figure. After they left, you went, I don't even know why they came into the clinic. I didn't answer it. They didn't even ask anything. They just came in, and I'm just confused. So, yeah, wouldn't it be great if you could just do what you're doing from home? I mean,
I don't know. I'm looking into. I'm going to start looking into work here in the States. I don't know how much longer I'll be doing overseas stuff. Maybe another couple of years, but I'm looking to transition home. So,
yeah, getting old, all that traveling, huh? Being away from home.
In the last 10 months, I've spent 2 of those months in quarantine.
Jesus. Yeah, I guess you have, because every time you go back, you have to do 14 days of quarantine before 15. You get to or 15, and then you get to the job site. Then you spend some time there, and then you come back, and then you turn around and you go do it again. Yeah. I don't know. I can't believe, because I remember when we started this, when everything started shutting down and quarantine period, and it was all a big question. Don't know how long this is going to last. Don't know what's going to happen next. And in some ways, it's hard for me to believe that it's been a year, because, wow, that went by quickly. But at the same time, after a month of working at home, I realized, wow, I can still do my job, and I truly have no use for my coworkers at all. So if I never go back to the office, I'd be just fine with that, because, again, I'll continue doing my job and not have to deal with any of them. Not because I have anything against them. They're all perfectly fine people that I have no use for at all.
I'm glad we've cleared up then. That's funny. So I was going to ask, since I've been gone for the last couple of months, as far as toys go, what have you been finding for G.I. Joe Classified? Did you ever find a Firefly figure?
No. The last time I bought G.I. Joe Classified figures from a store is when I was in Colorado, and you and I hit that surprising jackpot at that one Target where we both found the Baroness and the Beachhead and the Gung Ho, and I believe you got the Red Ninja then. I have not seen a Classified figure in a retail store since. Wow. I have Duke, but I had to order him. I ordered him from the Big Boy Collectibles when they first restocked. I had never actually seen Duke in the store before, so when I got him, I was struck by how goofy the leg armor was, and I posted a picture of it on G.I. Joeberg in the Facebook group, and somebody pointed out that I had gotten the redeco. Well, I didn't realize that it was a redeco. I imagine that leg armor would look stupid, because I looked it up. I'm like, oh, the original was gold. He had a lot of gold on him, like Duke like Roadblock and Scarlet did. But it turns out that the leg armor is stupid looking in gold and in the gunmetal that it's just misshapen. It's weird. I cut them off and I made the front of his boots look like they had smaller armor on anyways. But I have not seen a classified figure in a retail store since you and I found those. The ones that I've gotten, well, there was the Prophet Director Destro, which I had pre-ordered from Hasbro Pulse. I got Duke, and I've got so Duke and Snake Eyes, I've never seen them in a retail store. As far as I'm concerned, the other Target exclusives don't exist.
Did I see that you got a Zartan?
Yeah, but I ordered him from Big Bad Toy Store.
How's the Zartan figure? How's the Zartan figure?
The Zartan figure is phenomenal. Just like I knew it would be when we first saw the pictures. He is right here, actually.
Yeah, and I would, as much as I am not a big fan of the 6-inch stuff, there's a couple that I would get if I came across them. The Firefly is definitely one of them. But I just can't be bothered to. I go look every once in a while when I'm home. I haven't gone yet because it seems like I got a million things to do when I get home each time. So, I mean, today we did the closing on our refinance for our house. I bought a Jeep right before I left. I bought because my last Jeep was 21 years old. So it was old enough to buy alcohol on its own. So
wait a minute. The Jeep that I was riding with you in when you picked me up from the airport back in September is not the Jeep that you have now?
Nope.
I didn't realize that you bought something else. That's funny.
Yeah, no, I hadn't posted it anywhere yet. But yeah, my uncle bought a brand new, like top of the line, straight off the factory, custom ordered Jeep. And he's like, hey, you want to buy my Jeep? And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I do. So I got the family discount on
cool.
Yeah, I got like 10 grand off of the Jeep. So
nice.
Yeah, I couldn't complain. And then while I was gone, I bought a bunch of shit for it. So
what does a bunch of shit constitute for the Jeep? You mean like floor mats and seat covers?
Well, I mean, that's what's cool about Jeeps is they're like action figures, man. There's tons of accessories for them. So yeah, I've
never driven the Jeep.
So I've got a floor liner for the back cargo area. I got a seat liner for the back seat that's also a dog bed. And then I've got a cargo net that goes down between the front seats and the back seats to keep the dogs in the back.
Yes, that's probably a good idea. Your dogs are crazy. For the bumper, the back bumper, please tell me that you're going to get a sticker that says no step, because it would be
disappointing. I'm planning on getting my wife mentioned it today. She asked me if I was going to get another sticker that I had on the back of my other Jeep, which said, what would Ozzy do?
No, a no step sticker would be much cooler.
No, I'm just saying. Because you can stand on the bumpers of the Jeep.
Yes, I don't care about that. The fact is, every G.I. Joe vehicle in the world has a no step sticker all over it. And for some reason, I think Jeep, and I think it should look like a vamp. Okay, no, so
mine is white. So
it's an Arctic vamp. There you go. Fine.
No.
Fine. You're not, you know what? You're not going to put a machine gun or a missile rack on the back of it either, are you?
I didn't say that. If I had the opportunity to, I sure as fuck would.
That's
then
fantastic.
We might talk about a no step, but since I can't afford either one of those right now, I don't think we'll be doing that. I just need another what would Ozzy do sticker.
Well, the back of my minivan has a Autobot symbol. I remember when I first bought it and you commented that it was the wrong faction. I'm still an Autobot, not a Decepticon.
I had Decepticon once on my other Jeep.
But now I want no step stickers for the back of my minivan. Anyways,
stand on a minivan anyway. So that's just
no, definitely not. But yes, here is my classified Zartan.
Okay,
he is badass, but I'm kind of biased anyways because Zartan's my favorite bad guy. He's my favorite bad guy from all from all pop culture ever. He's my all-time favorite bad guy from anything that anybody's ever created.
So it's me. I want to know what kind of accessories he came with.
Okay, well, first of all, he came with a pistol that looks an awful lot like his iconic pistol from the vintage toy line.
Okay.
Unlike most of these characters in the classified line who tend to have updated armament or in some cases just bizarre looking guns, Zartan actually came with a proper update of his original I don't know if it's a pistol or laser or what, but it's a proper update of it. He's got a backpack that'll hold the mask. The mask actually clips on over the face, and it's not a huge goofy looking thing that's sticking off the head like the mask in the vintage toy line. Although at the time, you can't complain. It was just the technology.
Oh, yeah,
it was cool.
So what is the mask, just like a bland face?
It's an updated version of the original. It's got the goatee, but it actually clips onto the face and it sits under the hood because the hood pops off.
Huh.
So it actually looks proper when he's got the mask on. Let's see, he's got a knife that comes out of the sheath on the back of his belt. Pretty wicked looking knife too. And oddly enough, I don't have them on here with me. They're upstairs because they don't stay on the belt very well. But he has there's a monkey's paw and some other kind of weird, I can't remember what it is, some other kind of weird accessory that sort of like the monkey's paw, I feel like it's some kind of weird,
like voodoo talisman or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Which makes sense because he's from, they live in the swamps. The right. Dreadnoks live in the swamps. And where do they have a lot of the swamps? Louisiana. Where's voodoo big in? Louisiana. So it is an interesting, strange, kind of dark accessory. I really got a kick out of it. It just, mine anyways, does not clip to the belt very well. It doesn't stay. It's interesting. I do think the colors are a tad bit dark on the Zartan figure. I wish the pants and the hood, they're such a dark shade of brown that they don't differentiate very well from the rest of it. Like the leg armor and the pants, I don't think the leg armor is obvious enough. I wish they'd gone with sort of a lighter, more reddish brown color, like in the vintage line. But that is a serious nitpick, and I acknowledge this.
Are you going to repaint it?
At some point, yes.
Yeah,
because I actually got two of the Zartan figures. Again, he is one of my favorite characters, but I might end up doing something with the second, or I might end up doing something I never do and leaving it in the box.
Whoa.
Well,
what was that? I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. You want to say that again for me, please?
Yes, I might just leave it in the box.
And there you have it, folks. That is a fucking first for JD.
Well,
holy shit. I'm glad I got that on fucking video.
I've got a couple of Star Wars figures back there.
I got that on video. Holy shit, right. I don't believe that. JD is going to leave something in the box.
All right, hang on.
Yeah, just because you've got other stuff in the box just means that you've been too lazy to open it.
No. This one I actually have a case around.
Oh.
But it's Hondo Ohnaka from the Clone Wars series. He came on in the vintage collection earlier this year.
I got the Beskar Armor Mandalorian and the Mandalorian armor from that wave.
Ooh, oh, that's right. You talked about the Mandalorian armor in your video the other day.
Yeah.
I got that because it's Hondo. He's my favorite character from the Clone Wars. It was created for the Clone Wars.
Right.
He's actually made the transition he was in the Star Wars Rebels cartoon after Clone Wars ended. But this is actually based on the version of Hondo that they made an animatronic of for the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge park at Disney. He is still voiced by Jim Cumming, who does the voice of Winnie the Pooh, and shitloads of other characters in many, many cartoons over the years. But yeah, he voices Hondo in the Clone Wars, on Rebels, and now for the park. But yes, Zartan I might leave in the box. But he's really cool. I've got Flint and Lady J pre-ordered too. Amazon says that they're due to me on June 3rd. I'll be shocked if they don't show up a little bit early.
Where'd you get your Zartan from? Just out of curiosity.
Big Bad Toy Store.
Yeah.
I'm not buying Firefly simply because, honest to God, I don't like the look of it. I don't like the design of it. I do like some of the.
See it.
What?
Pick me up one if you see it.
Oh, I will. I'm never going to see it, but sure.
Yeah, no, I don't expect. That's the only reason I'm asking is because you won't see it.
Yeah, I mean, if I did see it, sure, I'd pick it up for you. I'm not personally getting it because, honestly, with the classified stuff, I like the updated modern looks that they're going for with most of them. I'm not a big fan of what they did with Firefly. I prefer a more minimalist look for Zartan. So I actually have the 6-inch Fortnite figure that they call Havoc that looks like Firefly. He was definitely he was designed in the Fortnite game as a tribute to Firefly. It's not a ripoff. It's just a nod. It's just a reference. I actually have that, and I prefer it as Firefly over the Hasbro design.
Zartan is not on Big Bad Toy Store anymore.
That is not a surprise to me.
No.
The classified line is doing a lot right. Their distribution is so bad that it nearly cancels out the effort that they're putting into designing these things, but whatever. I don't.
Just out of he's on Amazon for $33, not in stock. April 1st. Huh.
Well, he's worth buying if you're looking to get one. I don't know if I'd pay $30 for it, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm not that excited for it.
I'm
because I think that's what we paid for the Baroness.
Yeah. Well, no, she was 40 because she was in that deluxe set with the bike. But
what about the retro line for the G.I. Joe? The G.I. Joe. Have you seen any of those floating around where you've been at?
The last one I saw was Snake Eyes, and I saw Destro a few weeks ago. That was the only one that I'd seen outside of Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. I skipped Destro because I already had the 50th release. I did buy Snake Eyes for reasons I can't quite decipher. Oh, that's right, because I had forgotten just how cool the Pursuit of Cobra Commando Snake Eyes was, and that's pretty much what the retro collection version was. But that was a while ago I saw them. They haven't been in the store since. I have a Hiss Tank. I have an Off-Striker. I haven't seen those either lately. And for all intents and purposes, G.I. Joe's place at retail is null and void.
Yeah,
I know there are people that have found classified stuff in the store, but that the store's here. There's no
the Destro is about the only one that I would pick up if I saw it. It's just because I did not get the 50th anniversary figure. The 50th anniversary stuff never showed up here where I live. The few 50th anniversary figures that I have, I got from
man. I wish I'd known that you would have wanted it because I would have picked it up for you. But that was it. Like Roadblock and Scarlet, the retro, I've never seen them. Duke and Cobra Commander and Lady J.
Figure.
I'll more than likely. What?
That Scarlet is a hideous figure.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of it or Roadblock. I'm not that Duke fig. You want to talk about hideous?
Well,
that retro
the 25th
collection
anniversary
Duke?
Version of it, isn't it?
What?
I think that Duke is the 20th anniversary figure.
Yeah, it's
or 25th anniversary figure.
Well, yeah, it is, but they use
it's not
the
even
screaming.
It's not even one. It's like it's the shitty 25th anniversary version.
Yeah, it's got the shitty 25th body, but it's also got the screaming asshole head sculpt from the cartoon release box set. But in order to make the bandolier, instead of they gave him the cross straps from the jetpack version in dark green, but there is no jetpack.
Oh my God.
And the colors aren't accurate to the original. And here's the thing: the first wave of the retro stuff, say what you will about the shitty releases, and there's a lot I could say, they were absolutely loaded with accessories. They had accessories from just about every version that had been released. But the last wave, which is again Duke, Cobra Commander, and Lady J, they only have 2 or 3 accessories each. So they're not even loading them with accessories anymore. So not only are they cheaping out on mold choices, but they're not even loading them with gear. They're not worth it. They're not worth it at all.
I'm so disappointed in that. I hate to say it, but aside from picking up some vintage stuff here and there, I've lost interest in G.I. Joe. I mean, the figures that Joy Toy are putting out for the realistic military figure and the science fiction military stuff is just, it's phenomenal.
I'll still get the classified stuff when it does it for me. I'm not getting a Viper or a Trooper. I don't like the classified designs of either. I don't care. And I'm glad, because holy shit, I'm not about to sell any internal organs to be able to afford them anyways. But even if I did like them, I wouldn't pay scalper prices. But I'm just glad that I actually don't like them, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, the only figure that I would like to see them make, because it's been on the box start, well, 2 figures that I've seen that they have been on the box start that I'm afraid that they will make because I won't be able to get them then, is the Alley Viper and Major Blood.
Major Blood's art has already showed up on a t-shirt from 80s Tees or Hot Topic or something. Art that looks an awful lot like, suspiciously like it would be off the release of a classified figure. Showed up on a t-shirt, and it's badass looking.
Yeah,
that is assuming that art of Major Blood is accurate to whatever they're going to do with the classified version. I like the direction they're going in. Flint and Lady J look good. I really wish there was bigger character variety, but at this point, the line's so hard to get. What the fuck is the difference, anyways?
Yeah.
They're selling huge. There's a huge market for it, but nobody can get them.
Yeah, I think making stuff exclusive is just shooting yourself in the foot.
Well, especially in this case, because they're exclusive to Target.
Right.
Target is janky with exclusives anyways, but in this case, these things aren't widely enough available. They're not, they don't exist they're not shipping in the numbers that are making this easy anyways.
Right.
So if this line ends up dying on the vine earlier than they anticipate, it might be because nobody can get them.
Yeah.
And I don't even think the scalpers are winning out, because they've got them so overpriced that people aren't actually going to buy them. I mean, some people will, and some people will buy some of it. But it's out of control, and it's too much.
Yeah, agreed.
But I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Outside of that, I'm still buying the Fortnite stuff, the 4-inch figure from the Jazzwares line. I got one today at Target. Big character in a suit, has a mask on. Don't remember what its name is. Badass looking though. But again, I don't play Fortnite. I have no interest in playing Fortnite. I well and truly love the look of these figures without any context for the game at all. I don't care. I know their names, some of them from the toy package. I don't need to know more than that. They're awesome, but otherwise,
I still have a problem getting beyond the proportions. Although I did use some Fortnite parts for your
Night Creeper.
Yes, Night Creeper too, which is still one of my favorite customs that I've done.
Yes, it's probably hanging up upstairs in my bedroom, on the wall. But I'm not much in the market for a lot of the toys lately, and I'm fine with that. There's not most of it I'd have to order, and I don't particularly want to. I've gotten a couple of vintage Star Wars figures, like the Bounty Hunters. There's a couple others I was trying to get. But there's no. The new Star Wars stuff is again impossible to find.
Yeah, absolutely. I got my last two figures from Big Bad Toy Store. I ended up finding one that I wanted at Walmart before I left. I don't even remember what it was, because that was like 2 months ago. So, but yeah, I used to look forward to going. One of the things I would do when I come home every time is go toy hunting, and now there's just no point in it.
I was gonna say, you're not finding anything at the stores. You gotta order most of what you want. I'm not. I remember the glory days, like 10 years ago, when movies like Captain America were coming out at the theater, and they had 18-inch figures or 1/18 scale figures coming out in the toy, and you could go into the stores and actually find stuff.
Yeah,
you can't do that anymore.
No, I remember hunting down all of the Iron Man 2 figures, and I bought every last one of my Iron Man 2 figures in the store.
Yeah, you didn't have to order those. But
yeah, even the exclusives, I did. I bought extras for customs off of eBay, sure, but every figure that I bought for the Iron Man 2 line in my collection, like that's loose in my collection on display, I got at retail. And you can't do that anymore.
No, these things don't even exist at retail anymore. It's a little, I'd say it's disappointing, but honestly, the stores themselves, they don't carry the variety of stuff that they used to carry. And a lot of the stuff is specialized markets now. And you've said for a long time that a lot of the stuff is going to end up being specialized stuff that's through small distribution, like Joy Toy, or Kickstarter stuff. Hey, speaking of which.
Oh, that's right. Completely forgot about that.
I didn't forget. I just figured we'd get to it. The Eagle Force return lines.
4.5 years ago, we had the gentleman that purchased the Eagle Force license from, well, it wasn't Mego. Mego had it originally in the early 1980s, 1981, 1982.
Yeah.
Mego went tits up. It went through about 3 or 4 different hands after that, different lines, and then just eventually kind of fizzled out.
I think it was one of those trademarks that companies kept buying but never actually doing anything with.
Exactly.
No other toys were ever released until Bill Murphy got a hold of the license, and he did a Kickstarter to make a new toy line. the Eagle Force Returns. Well, he did the Kickstarter. It funded. It went real well. And then
I think they even made some of their stretch goals.
they did. They made the first 3 or 4 stretch goals, I believe. And then
and
literally
he was a guest
everything
on
that
our
could have
show.
gone wrong. Yes, we had Bill on the show. Early in General Geekery's run. Yeah, it was early on and
during the Kickstarter.
Yeah, and it and we had a great conversation with him and his plans for the line and what he was hoping to do.
Yeah, fantastic.
And then
fantastic plans, great guy.
And then after our show, I mean, after the show, a couple days later, I think, because it was towards the end of the Kickstarter campaign, because that was as soon as we could get him on, and it funded shortly after, and then had a couple of the stretch goals, and then everybody got all excited because they were due to be released a year after the Kickstarter, a year or so after the Kickstarter ended. But after that happened, everything
that could go wrong went wrong.
Yes, it was a shitstorm and a half from then on trying to get the figures made. And every once in a while there would be an update, and the updates were mostly production delays, or the molds are trapped in China, or the factory shut down and won't open back up, and we have to find another factory. Or
and I think some of the molds got off by one of the factories.
Yeah, and then some of the molds got stolen, some of them got destroyed. Well, early on, I know they had a problem with when the first prototypes came in. They were too small, they were too short, I think. Like, they were out of scale with the rest of the 1/18 stuff. They were more in line with the vintage stuff, and that's not what they were going for. So they had to be resculpted. And then some of the molds got damaged. I think a couple of them got stolen, because Sparrow Toys, who does the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom line, had some molds stolen. There were a bunch of those small. Because I was listening to a podcast with the podcast interview with Jason last week, and he said some of his AWOC stuff, the molds were, they found them. I mean, they recovered them, but the guy that stole them, he was trying to screw over, I think, some of the people responsible for these small toy runs, these special whatever. So, but yeah, every factory problem that could have possibly come up is what happened. And then the coronavirus pandemic was even more salt in the wound, because after Bill had finally found the factory that could do it all and would get it all done and promised it all and wasn't going to keep the molds, wasn't going to hold them hostage or whatever the hell, then everything shut down because of COVID.
Yep.
So, but shockingly, and I say shockingly with love, because I always wanted I was always hoping that they were going to come out, but it just seemed unlikely because of so many problems that
I've always wanted this. I always wanted it to succeed, because like we've talked about on previous shows, is I think that is the future of 1/18 scale figures, is these small batch toy companies like Hiya and Joy Toy and Kickstarter. So if you want new 1/18 scale figures, this is one of the only ways you're ever going to see them again, is through Kickstarter. So I wanted the Kickstarter to succeed. I wanted it to do well. I wanted people to support it. I wanted people to put a lot of effort and money behind it, because that builds confidence. And then somebody else is going to say, hey, look, this Eagle Force Kickstarter succeeded. This Boss Fight Kickstarter succeeded. This Marauder Task Force Kickstarter succeeded. This Kickstarter succeeded. And it was just going to my theory was it was just going to snowball from there. And then, the Animal Warrior Kingdom thing succeeded. But then Bill's just hit every bump in the road that could possibly be there. And then the coronavirus hit, and then, man, it's just fizzled out. And I don't think there's a lot of confidence in Kickstarters anymore.
But shockingly, last month, there was an email that said that they were on the boat from China and that they'd be sent out after they got to the U.S. to the Kickstarter backers. And then a couple weeks ago, they sent out the email updates with tracking numbers.
Yep.
And Brian texted me and said, hey, I got an email and there's a tracking number for, he's like, I think my Eagle Force return stuff shipped. And I was like, yep, I got my tracking number too. And then sure enough, we have them in hand. 4 years later, the Eagle Force returns. The Eagle has landed.
Yes, the Eagle has landed.
They are in hand. And I'm happy with them. I had only ordered the one figure initially because I wanted to see, well, because here was the plan. A year after the Kickstarter is when they were supposed to start shipping out. And I thought, well, if I really like this one figure, then I'll just go online and I'll just order more of them.
Right.
Well, and then when all the problems happened, at some point I expected refunds because I figured that Bill was going to be like, oh God, this is too much. Because honestly, most creators probably would have just said, this is too much. This isn't going to happen. And they would have lost everything and they would have just given up. I think most people would have. Well, Bill didn't. He persevered. He saw it through. But my initial goal was if I like it, I'll order more. Well, here's the thing. Now that I have it in hand, I really wish I'd ordered more figures and more characters because I really dig the hell out of the figure that I got.
Which one did you order? I forgot to ask.
Baron von Chill II.
Okay.
I'm extremely happy with that figure. He looks great. Now they're also throwing in that second figure that they call Midnight, who's an all black figure. He doesn't have any paint apps. He's a little bit Snake Eyes. Okay, he's a lot Snake Eyes. But that's not a bad thing. I'm not criticizing. It's a free figure to every backer. I mean, that's cool. You can't go wrong with that.
Mine had a little defect in the head, but you know.
Yeah, but at least you didn't pay for it. But I'm really happy with the quality on this figure or on these figures. Really wish I'd ordered some more of the characters. He said in June, or Bill said that in June or July, they'd be selling them off the website, which is good because now there's more characters I'm definitely going to order because I'm happy with the figures I got. The quality, the articulation's great. You got what, 4 of the Riot Troopers?
I did 4 of the Riot Commandos.
And I watched your video review. That was a good review. Did it make you wish that you'd gotten characters too, or are you happy that you got troopers?
I never had Eagle Force as a kid.
I never had it either. I didn't know it existed until I never saw them, never heard of them when I was a kid. Well, not that I remember. It's entirely possible. I saw them when I was a kid.
After I mentioned it on the video that I thought maybe you had them as a kid, but I thought no, that had been way before you would have been collecting stuff. So I saw him in the store when I was a kid, but again, I'm very scale oriented even when I was a kid. So, you know, I didn't get Masters of the Universe. I didn't buy a lot of the toy lines that a lot of the other kids got just because it didn't go with my other toys. And the one exception to that was the Dungeons and Dragons toys. And even the figures, I had a bunch of the figures, but I ended up not playing with the figures because they weren't in scale. So I didn't have any of the Eagle Force stuff as a kid. So I didn't have any of that like burning nostalgia for it, like a lot of people that backed it did. But there's like an Eagle Force trooper that looks pretty cool, and I kind of wish I'd pre-ordered a couple of those.
Yeah, I want Captain Eagle. I want Zapper. I want, was it the cat? Yeah. And then I want there's one of the the bad guys. He's black and yellow and kind of looks like Firefly a little bit. And I having a brain fart, can't remember his name. He's cool. I want him. And I want a couple of the Riot Commandos, thanks to your video in there, Vod. Now I want a couple of those. And I'm like, okay, June or July. All right. Well, I'll be ordering some. I'm pretty damn happy with these.
Yeah, I think like I said, if you haven't watched, well, I haven't said, but if you haven't watched the video, it's on this channel. Go take a look at it, and yeah, I think the quality is fantastic. Like I said, my free figure had a slight defect, but I'll tell you what, I bet I could get in touch with Bill and say, hey, my head's got a bubble on it, and it would get replaced without any question. But also, like I said in the video, I might use that figure as a buck for a custom because it's that nice. I like the articulation. I think it's a solid enough figure that it'll be great for custom. So I plan on customizing that figure. So I don't want the head. I'll put a different head on it, but so the fact that it has a slight defect and it makes no never mind to me because I'm not going to use the head.
I'm at some point I'll end up integrating these characters into my Joe verse. Not as Joe, but that's everything sort of gets rolled in there. But yeah, but I want to say congratulations, Bill, on getting these figures made. Honestly, his fortitude and his determination to stick it out and get these things out there is admirable.
Absolutely. I cannot. I watched from the sidelines on this and I'm like, man, it must just suck to be this guy right now.
I can't imagine because I remember last year on one of my memories, it came up and there was something about the Eagle Force when, not this year, but last year on this date feature on Facebook, there had been our post about the Eagle that I had made, Eagle Force funded and all that. And I'm like, and at the time when I shared the memory of it, I said 3 years later and and I made a joke, but that's because I make jokes when I get cynical about stuff, when I'm disappointed in stuff. But I'm really happy that this wound up working out because I really think most creators would have been like, fuck it, this is just not happening.
Yeah, so the only thing that I'm curious to see now is if the Hell Screamer will ever see fruition.
Yeah. Perhaps. Maybe. There has been a serious downturn in action figure lines over Kickstarter. AWOC, though, Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, they've got a 6-inch line now on Kickstarter, and it's doing pretty well.
Yeah, I think both of these, the Kickstarter, I think the Eagle Force and the Hell Screamer, I think put a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth about stuff not coming to fruition.
Would not be surprised. But there was another toy company that launched a toy line via Kickstarter that actually came through pretty quickly. They're doing pretty well for themselves, Boss Fight Studios.
Yeah.
Boy, they just got licenses of all kinds coming out, including some odd sort of misfit characters that don't have toy lines of their own. Zorro.
Yeah, I got a couple of the Zorro figures. I got the Flash Gordon lunchbox combo set. I was going to get the Phantom, but I just a little tight on money, so I didn't get the Phantom.
I'm going to end up getting the Phantom because last summer I watched the movie with Billy Zane. Really, 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 really liked it. So
I did too.
I didn't know the Phantom before that. I mean, I knew who he was, vaguely knew who he was aware of the character.
Right.
Did not know anything about him. Liked that movie enough that now I like the character, so I will end up getting the boss fight figure. Didn't get the Flash Gordon stuff because it's not my bag, but
yeah, I grew up with Flash Gordon. That was on HBO. It was one of those movies that was on HBO one summer, so I've seen it like a million fucking times.
Yes, back in the day when you had to watch movies when they were on TV, and if you had HBO, they would always play the same movies over and over.
Right.
That's why I've seen Beetlejuice 865,000 times.
Exactly.
Because that was kind of the same. But I mean, of course, much later because you're much older than I am. But
thanks.
Jokes.
Rub some salt in that wound.
I'm not rubbing the salt in, I'm gently sprinkling it. But I'm pretty happy. All right, look, Zorro's the only boss fight figure I've got. I'm damn happy with it, so I'm gonna get the Phantom. But
and I think Marauder's gonna be, I think I don't know if it's this year or next year, they're gonna be doing a because their World War II Kickstarter did really well. I think they're going to be doing a Vietnam era one next.
Well, judging by how popular the World War II stuff is, I imagine the Vietnam stuff will be even more just as, if not more so.
Agreed. I've already got customs planned for it. I'm going to do Vietnam era seals, and then I've got a head of
God, you're such a nerd for seals. You're such a nerd.
No, I've got one of the heads from I can't think of the actor's name that was in Platoon. Not William Dafoe, not Charlie Sheen.
Tom Berenger.
Tom Berenger, thank you.
Yes.
Tom Berenger, who is also in another Billy Zane movie.
Sniper.
Yes.
Yes.
So I have a Tom Berenger head from. I don't remember who I got it from, but I have a Tom Berenger head, and it looks just like he did in Platoon. So I'm going to do.
Wait, with the scars?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm going to do a Tom Berenger Platoon figure custom as well. So I've already got plans for the Vietnam era Marauder Task Force stuff. So I will be backing that with application.
I would not normally have had plans for Vietnam toys because look. The World War II stuff is amazing for Marauder. It is amazing looking. I have literally no use for it at all.
I mentioned that on one of my things because Joy Toy has a World War II line out right now. Well, I kind of do really kind of want to get one of the U.S. paratrooper sets. It's not quite enough to drop the cap.
Yeah, it's really cool for what it is. I'm not going to spend money on something that's so far out of my wheelhouse as World War II stuff. And normally I would have said the same about the Vietnam stuff because the Vietnam stuff that we get from G.I. Joe, like some of the comics and stuff, is cool, but I wouldn't have normally needed toys from it. Until this season, this third season of Cobra Kai on Netflix, where they have, I know you've seen the movies, but have you watched Cobra Kai?
No.
So you're not familiar, but some of the characters that we saw in the Karate Kid movies, they were in Vietnam, and in the third season of the Cobra Kai TV series, they actually show flashbacks of these characters. Like they're newly written, newly filmed, and everything. They're right. But it fills in some of that backstory from Vietnam.
Gotcha.
And that shit was so well done on that show that some of these characters, like Terry Silver and John Kreese, and the nameless captain that was kind of a douchebag, but he was played by Terry Serpico, who's one of my favorite actors. It was so well done on the show that I'm like, oh, now I need Vietnam figures from Marauder. So anytime that wants to happen, we'll be good to go. Thanks. So yeah. So that will be a welcome addition to that toy line. So if they're gonna kickstart Vietnam stuff, okay, I can get in on that now. Thank you.
Yeah,
Cobra
and that's
Kai.
what I'm hoping is that we'll see some more Kickstarters like that get funded, and that'll kind of breathe some life back into Kickstarters and
Would be nice.
Get stuff, get build interest and build confidence back in it to where other people besides Marauder and besides Boss Fight say, you know what, it does work. Eagle Force proved that. So let's take the risk and let's do it.
It would be cool. It would be cool because there's more
I know
toy
a lot
lines.
of people have a lot of ideas out there. They're just they're like, and I think unfortunately, I think a lot of it there's just like timing issues too. I think it seems like one of the Kickstarters that didn't fund, because the Animal Warriors didn't fund the first time. But I think it was up again. I think there was a Boss Fight Kickstarter at the same time. There was something else that people are like, yeah, I can do one or the other. There was one of those Kickstarters that didn't get funded because I don't know if it was Animal Warriors or if it was another Kickstarter, because there was one for like an MRAP that looked pretty cool, and I did go in on that, but it didn't get funded. There's been a couple that didn't get funded that I would have backed, but they were up against other Kickstarters at the time, or there was other big stuff coming out. So I think, unfortunately, a lot of the success or failure lies in the timing of the Kickstarter, and there's no way to predict that. There's no way to know who's going to come out with what when you're ready to launch. So
yeah, like I said, there's lots of people with lots of ideas, and hopefully they can find avenues for this stuff to come out. It's just funny with Marauder because you look back when they first started, they were offering weapons for 1/18 scale figures, mostly G.I. Joe, for a toy line where at the time they didn't have a lot of great weapons coming out.
Right.
They were all pretty shoddy, or they were kind of goofy. And look at how far Marauders come since. I mean, they have their own complete toy lines.
Yeah. I've been buying their stuff since the first wave.
Yep. I had the first wave of weapons they put out way back in, good God, 2005 now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I know.
Well, because Marauder John was at the G.I. Joe convention in New Orleans 2006. So I got to talk to him there way back when that was still a very, very young line. And now, who would have thought? Yeah, they got action figures and an ever growing action figure line.
Yeah.
Ever expanding with different playability type, different content. I mean, they went from the military guys, the contractor guys, to now they have the guys in the suits.
Yeah, those are awesome figures. I need that reminds me, I need to get one of those suits while they're in stock, because
hurry up on that, because they'll go out of stock and then you won't have it until you get back from South America 6 tours from now.
Yeah. But no, I'm already on the website right now putting a shopping list together for my next custom. So
good call.
Yeah. I'm going to do another one of my female Viper customs. I won't allude to which particular specialty Viper I'm going to do, but
damn it, cut me off before I can ask which one.
Yep. Gonna have to wait and see.
Well, I will be curious about that. I feel like you won't tell me because it's one that you just want to see my reaction to, which is both admirable and irritating, just so you know.
Actually, no, but now that you mention it, yes.
Oh, Jesus. Well, boy, I'm glad I could help with that. Really, that's awesome.
That thought hadn't crossed my mind, but now that you mention it, yeah, it's like that's an even better reason not to.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So now you're actually going to torture me. Sweet.
Yeah. And I've told you which one I've mentioned which ones I had planned. So
yeah. My memory sucks.
I know.
So.
That's why it's like
Funny.
getting pretty
So
close
what
to
happens?
finishing my female cobra coils. I'm not happy with the paint, so I need to go back and do some stuff on that. I've got the Red Ninja leader almost done.
Oh, that's right. You started him before your last tour, I think.
Yeah, I wasn't able to get him finished, and then I got another Red Ninja that's built.
You should do a Cobra Ninja Viper. You know, it was Storm Shadow, but teal.
No.
Yes,
No.
I think you should. I think it'd be awesome.
Just,
I think you should.
No.
I think you'd be great.
I don't think so.
Fine.
I think I shot my weird color scheme when I did the female
Mega Viper.
Yeah, the female Mega Viper.
Yes, but it's so fucking awesome that you should. Fine, I see what you're saying. Well,
lightning only strikes once there.
Well, of course, when I challenged you to the Mega Viper, it was either Mega Viper or Sludge Viper. So,
yeah.
And yeah, well, the Sludge Viper wasn't quite as loud as the Mega Viper. It's still outlandish, so I was pretty happy. I was a bit happy whichever one you came up with.
The memory you posted today on Facebook was one of the customs you challenged me to.
The VBSS Navy SEAL, right? The boarding party,
which is right here.
God, I love it. Yeah, because I posted it. Yeah, because it was a work in progress. It was
it was just a work in progress picture. There's the finished one. And the pictures don't even do it justice because it's,
pictures never do them justice.
The gas mask that's hanging off. He's got the repelling gloves that are hanging off. The breaching tools come out of the holster there. The goggles go up and down, and then he's got the weapon, and of course the vest theoretically is removable, but probably isn't. But he, I made him after I did my box set, so he didn't make it into the 15 seal box set custom. So, and I haven't carded him yet either. So I don't know what I haven't decided what I'm going to do with him yet. Right now he's on the deck of my second flag with all my Joy Toy stuff. Oh man, I think that's about it.
Yeah, I think. Well, welcome back to the U.S.
Thank you. It's always nice to be home, man.
Well, while you're back, we'll do a couple episodes because I've missed podcasting.
Yeah, we really need to get Think Tank on, man.
Yes. Well,
we keep missing him.
If we could schedule him, that'd be great. Well, no, if we could schedule him and keep the schedule, that'd be great.
Yeah, we just keep missing up on that.
So, but yeah, well, thanks for listening, and we will talk at you all again soon.
Yeah, stay tuned because hopefully we'll have some more shows coming up. But as always, please do that fun social media stuff. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, comment below. We are always interested in hearing ideas for the show. And we are always interested in anyone that's like doing Kickstarters or striking out on your own. Maybe you're doing customs, trying to make a living at doing customs or selling your customs. Let us know if you want to be on the show. We're always happy to help other people pimp their wares.
Oh, absolutely.
And stay tuned because, we'll have more stuff while I'm home. So thanks for watching and stay tuned for more stuff.